I'm going to show you how to make the best and the easiest side dish today, oven roasted red potatoes. Hi, my name is Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome to my sister's kitchen, where I'm going to show you guys how to make the easy and the best oven roasted red potatoes today. So if you are new to our channel, we are so glad that you're here. My sister Carrie and I are on a mission to help real families eat real food at home, even on a budget. So we're all about good food, but the easiest way possible. So we kind of do all the shortcuts and figure out what's worth the shortcut, what isn't, so that you can eat really delicious, affordable food. So I have linked today's recipe in the description below, as well as all the kitchen tools that I'll be using in today's video. So make sure that you check it out. All right, let's get these potatoes roasting. First, let's talk all thing potatoes. So for today's recipe, I'm using red potatoes. Some people say they look purplish, but they're called red potatoes. So look for them at your grocery store. You need about 1.5 pounds of potatoes. So 1.5 pounds, in case my southernness came out and you couldn't understand that. These potatoes can range in sizes. Sometimes they're bigger, sometimes they're smaller. Mine are a little bit bigger today, and that's fine. I'm just going to dice them into smaller pieces, and it's going to be great. Well, for this recipe, I like to leave the skin on. I think it adds a lot of flavor, but I do recommend that you clean them real good and get any of the potato eyes off. So we're gonna take these potatoes and get them cleaned off, and then we're gonna get the seasonings added. So I just clean the potatoes. I'm just using a kitchen rag and it works fine. Some people use their fingers or like a sponge, and that would work good. If there's any eyes sticking out, just knock them off. You're just wanting to clean them real well and then dry them off before we roast them. Now you do want to dry them off good, just so the oil and the seasoning will stick to the potatoes. Again, I'm just using a clean kitchen cloth and that works fine. You can let them set and dry at room temperature if you have a little bit more time, but I know you guys want to see these potatoes, so I'm going to get these dried off. All right, let's get this out of here. Okay, now we're going to dice the potatoes. In the recipe, it says to halve them. Which means cut them in half. But mine are pretty big, so I'm going to dice them a little bit smaller for a couple of reasons. One, it's easier for me and my family to eat when it's more bite-sized. And two, I think it just roasts quicker and more evenly. So if you're making these at home, use your own discretion. But I would recommend that you dice them into bite-sized pieces. After they're diced, go ahead and place them in a large mixing bowl. Okay, it's been brought to my attention that I love the word dice. I don't know. What do you guys call these? My sister, she's helping me produce the video. That's what we call it. And she said these are not diced potatoes. Maybe you would say quartered, cut into bite-sized pieces, okay? Not diced. She said diced is more like hash brown size. Let me know in the comments what you guys prefer, because I want to use words that you guys understand. So sorry about that. Here, dice them. I did it again. Cut them into this size, okay? All right. Once you have cut all your potatoes, put them in a large mixing bowl. We like to coat the potatoes in a mixing bowl instead of drizzling it on top. It makes sure that the seasoning and the oil gets over every little bit of the potatoes. So it takes maybe about 1 extra minute, but it adds a ton of flavor. So this is one of those shortcuts that we say, don't cut it out, it's worth it. All right, so the potatoes are in the mixing bowl. We are going to drizzle on top 2 tablespoons olive oil. Now, you can use any oil with a high smoke point because we are going to roast these at about 400 degrees. So you want an oil that can handle that high heat. Avocado oil would be a great alternative. Now, you could use vegetable or canola oil. They're just not as healthy as an option. So I would go the avocado or the olive oil route. Now we're going to add the seasonings. So first, start with 2 teaspoons minced garlic. I am using the pre-minced garlic that you can buy in a jar. If you want to mince your own, power to you. I love you. Do it. Mince your own. You do you. I like to use the jar kind, and it works great. Now we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. We like to use the pink Himalayan salt, and it works great, but you can use regular table salt. and a teaspoon of Italian seasoning blend or mix. I'm going to link a homemade recipe we have for this below in case you cannot find the mix at your local grocery store. And then a half a teaspoon of black pepper, of course. And then a quarter of cup grated Parmesan cheese. So you want this to be grated so it's nice and fine and easy to melt and coat the potatoes with. This is the one that's in like the shaker and it works great. So once it's all been added to the bowl, just mix those potatoes again to get them coated with the seasoning. Now it's time to get them on the prepared pan. So the oven has been preheating to 400 degrees. The secret with roasting veggies is to not crowd your pan. If you crowd your pan, they're not going to get browned and it's not going to taste as well. So that is the secret. I am using this nice big sheet pan, and Carrie and I are on this parchment paper sheet kit. So it's really easy. It's like pre-cut parchment paper. You just put it right there, and it's a great way to line your baking sheets. I'm going to link all of this below, so if you guys are in the market, check it out. Then you just top your potatoes on top and put them in an even layer. You do not want them piled up on the middle of the pan like this. So use your spoon to get them even and make sure it's not too crowded. Now, if you guys watched the recent video I did on roasted cauliflower, I talked about this a lot. If you crowd the pan, you risk just steaming your vegetables instead of roasting them. You want it to be nice and spread out so it gets brown on all sides of the veggies. Okay, this looks perfect. All right, we're gonna get this in the oven and get them roasting. Place them in the center rack in the oven, and we're gonna cook them for about 35 to 40 minutes until the potatoes are fork tender, and I'm gonna toss them halfway through the cook time. So it's been cooking for about 20 minutes and they're looking good. I just want to go ahead and toss them to make sure they get evenly browned here. Ooh, I'm loving the way that cheese is caramelizing though. It looks great. They're ready. Okay, I let them cook for about 15 more minutes and they are perfect. They smell and look amazing. Now I'm just gonna chop up some parsley to put it on top. So, this is completely optional. It definitely gives it the wow factor. I just take my knife and get the parsley leaves off the stem. I am not an expert parsley chopper. If you guys have any tips you want to share with me, let me know below. Carrie and I were talking about it, like tips we could share with you guys. And her biggest tip is when you're cutting to make sure you use the thick part of your knife. So this part right here. A lot of people are chopping down here and you just don't get as much bang for your buck when using that portion of the knife. So try to use it here. I just cut off the leaves and then I bunch them all together and then run that thick part of the knife through it. And I kind of hold the knife down on one end and just run that fat part through the parsley to finally chop it up. Once that parsley is nice and chopped, you just sprinkle it right on top. And that's it. These potatoes are so simple, but I promise they're packed with flavor. We were all sampling them off the camera and everyone is already raving about them. So I cannot wait for you guys to try them and rave about them too. I'm gonna transfer them to this beautiful serving bowl just to be a little fancy. Now let's talk about things that you can change up. So the recipe is for red potatoes. So I do recommend that you use red potatoes, but you could use yellow gold. I think those would be good as well. That would work. I wouldn't use russet. That's not my favorite with this recipe, but if you're in a pinch, that would work as well. All right, I cannot wait to try these. They look and smell amazing. So when you're serving these are great just with any protein. So if you're making our classic baked chicken, a easy skillet recipe, this is going to be the best side dish that everyone's going to eat up in no time at all. When you store them, you can keep leftovers about a week. 5 days is generally what we say. As long as you refrigerate them, they're going to keep great. Make sure that you check out this recipe that I've linked in the description below. It's going to have all of our tips and tricks in there, as well as the nutritional information. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. If you like this recipe, Make sure that you're liking and subscribing so you never miss any of our easy recipes. And leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. I cannot wait to try this. So easy and so delicious. I hope you guys love it. All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today in my sister's kitchen. I hope I inspired you to try this easy side dish at home, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out of here. Bye, friends.